Welcome back, everyone. We're here in Los Angeles for Game 4 of the Cloud9 versus Gravity series. And Trashy, now that the pressure is kind of shifted over to Gravity to close this game, or this series out, rather, with Cloud9 getting up onto the board, what do you think the big changes for Gravity are going to be coming into Champ Select and the game?
So Gravity is probably going to ban 3 of highest junglers and let him pick a Mumu. No.
Just force him back into a make him pick a Mumu.
No, I think what they will do is they will probably take away the Shyvana and then look what High can play else than Shyvana. And then I will love to see I'll take on a more damage-heavy AD carry and then try to play around him a bit more and then probably just go a bit with the things that worked in the first 2 games, heavy front line, but maybe pick up a Kog'Maw, because in the second game here they had Maokai, a strong front line, and they had decent peel for the AD carry. So if they had like a Kog'Maw that could shred the tanks, that might have been working out better for them.
Yeah, interestingly enough, in that team fight in the mid lane that we saw, Ashe stayed alive for the entirety of the fight. If they did have a higher damage AD carry, they may have been able to eat through those tanks.
But I mean, Ashe is actually a decent damage AD carry. I do want to kind of preface that a little bit. She's like pretty good on the spectrum, but honestly, it was the fact that Victor just died so damn fast. Like, this was a 2-threat team, and 2-threat teams are reasonably okay. As soon as C9 ran in 3 tanks, it becomes a lot harder to chew through the front line. But I mean, the fact is Victor died, like in all the fights that mattered, and that's a really big deal. Ashe can't get through Thornmail, Frozen Heart, Maokai. That doesn't exist in League of Legends.
Yeah. So just positioning, is that, or is it a better or more safe mid lane?
I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I mean, like 20 seconds ago, I was gonna like blankly agree with Trash and be like, yeah, like run a rumble top lane, run a Kog'Maw, right? Just like put the damage out there against the tanks. But like Ashe is okay in this role. Like, I think it's fine personally. Like Victor Ashe can be enough, but Victor died.
Yeah, I got something entirely different.
All right,
okay.
Let's hear it.
Game 2 of the TSM series for Gravity, they did Shen, Elise, Urgot, Tristana, Braum. That's a lot of pick potential and a lot of split pushing. So since Cloud9 is going so heavily in the team fight favor right now, they have almost no split pushing threat. Also, since Victor was getting caught out, put Keen on a tank, let them split push, completely change the playbook, and try and win from there.
All right, throwing a curveball. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's throw it over to the casters for Game 4.
Thank you very much, Dash. And I love the last point about that is the Elise was in that composition. In general, where has Elise been throughout this? Move used it to 5-0-8 in the win they had over Team Solo Mid coming into pulling through the playoffs. So I don't know why they wouldn't factor back to that.
He likes Gragas a lot right now, apparently.
Like Gragas.
It's been working
Also,
for him,
it's a
so he
good
hasn't had to
takeaway.
adapt yet.
Good takeaway as well. They keep themselves with the composition they want. Also, never hurts to continue running the same thing if you think they have the upper hand. But it looks like last game, Cloud9 figured that out. Were able to take down Gravity, keep themselves alive. But do they have enough to continue pushing themselves? A lot of people are saying, oh, what is this picks and bans? We haven't seen anything like experimental like this from Cloud9 before. And I wondered in the first few games if they really had a kind of a goal with those compositions, because Gravity was working around it completely.
Yeah, Cloud9's was kind of banking on a team fight where you got the perfect engage, the perfect follow-up, but your engagement tools pretty much had 1 or 2. Gravity, though...
Sounds great, but extremely hard.
Yeah, extremely hard. Gravity, though, coming into this game, the only ban I think they'll drop is possibly the Fizz for the Shyvana, but even then, when you drop the Fizz there, where you see, you drop the Fizz, if Balls locks in Fizz, there is so much threat onto Altec. The TP flanks are going to be immense, but he's already doing that with Maokai. So now he gets his pick of the litter. Once again, same 3 champions locked in here at the start, at the get-go. Gravity might not change anything.
We have a pattern. There's going to be a gentleman's agreement next time. Since they're both on the same sides, red, blue, blue, red, they're just going to be like, all right, we'll start at pick number 4. Because you know you want this. We're going to take this. No rushing before 15 minutes. High and Levin Nation now to factor in their picks for this. Still, you see that they throw priority towards that Urgot ban. Know that Keen can be somebody to carry from the mid lane, yet leave this Victor up constantly as well that he's been playing quite well on. It's a big choice for them. Do they want to run tried and true with what they just had? They already have the composition for it.
Could be the flex pick again for Incarnation in the mid lane, but Orianna's just been working out for him so beautifully. Cloud9 might just run the same composition, but sub out a jungler for High. But that's the thing is, what does the next highest jungler for High look like right behind Shyvana? There's a large drop-off in terms of how powerful Devourer junglers are.
Yeah. Well, we definitely don't see too much Rek'Sai out of North America anymore, but High did have a pretty good Rek'Sai even when that was behind in the early game, he didn't find everything he needed. He could still somewhat make it work. But it's been a month. Has he practiced anything else is really our question here. We were wondering at the beginning of the series, and we'll get to see it probably this game if it is. His Shyvana was banned out, and we're waiting now. Gravity aside, picks 3 and 4 for them. See what they come in with. Haven't seen Nautilus coming into the series just yet. It's been the Alistar for Bunny Fufu, which is still on the board. Oh. 3 seconds on that GP. Time to change.
Yeah, he's going to do that.
He may do it.
Now here's the thing. Is that a Keen gangplank? You never know.
That's
it could be. It could be. It could be Hanser having that gangplank as well, which is much more likely, but Gravity, maybe they're going to go back to having that kind of crazy pick in the mid lane for Keen.
Yep, they waited 4 games to go with the flex even within their game. So nothing really even was showing flex within the last composition. So still have this in the trick book to bring it out. Cloud9 pondering of what they will do. Like you mentioned before, Lemon Nation with definitely more of a voice here in Champion Select. You can see Bubba Dub, you know, either not second guessing, but in a quick opinion.
He shook his head at that one. That's not a good idea.
Is like fast curveball? No, absolutely not. Shake it off. Shake something else. Something else. Don't want the fast curveball. What will they decide to go with here? Could be a bottom lane. You could look at Incarnation on that Varus, but like you said, his Orianna play has just been too good. That utility that he brings to the table.
Oh!
Is it? No, it's not. Is it?
Yeah, that's locked in. That's locked in.
Now
that's locked in.
I'm never letting it go. You've seen 3 or 4 picks. That's like 3 seconds at 0. But that's awesome. The Kha'Zix gets locked in. We're going to see that from high. The Victor goes to mid lane, and the Varus stays with Sneaky. Now, it's not really a choice if that's a flex anymore. What are they going to flex towards the mid lane if they do? I mean, you give Hans or something.
Yeah, it's most likely a Hanser gangplank to deal with the Maokai to just chunk him out, ignore his armor at all stages of the game, and now you get the counter pick in the mid lane. Azir's off the table. Victor for Cloud9. Is this a Jarvan? What do you go for here?
Let's see, you got a lot you can lock down. They could go Ori on their side as well. Keen has definitely been going towards that, towards the end of the summer split, that second half. So he's no stranger to being a utility mid laner. Still discussing it. Bunny Fufu's choice to lock it in. It could be the global from Twisted Fate. Looks indecisive right now, but it may be the TF getting locked in. They're going to look to actually pressure Victor as hard as Victor pressures in that mid lane. Wild cards versus lasers.
Yeah, a lot of global pressure here too from Gravity. They have the Ash Arrow to start engaging across the map. They have Keen who can get there and Hanser who can get there, but also they get to play towards the bottom lane. And you can see Sneaky, the first time in the series, he has Cleanse.
Yeah.
He was taking a heal all series long. Now he's saying, okay, there's a Twisted Fate and an Ash. Everybody is gunning for me. There's going to be 5 people in this bottom lane trying to kill me. I have to survive and avoid the CC.
Can't forget about GP ulti as well. So there's even more AoE that you have if he is not present for the fight. Puts him on himself on Kha'Zix though. He's gonna have to have a good game here to make anything work.
Gotta have a decent early game.
Right.
Hopefully pick up a kill here on the Kha'Zix. Start snowballing. See if he can get his double jump mechanics down.
Cloud9 not afraid to keep reaching deeper and deeper into the box here for picks. Everybody wondered where he would go after a few picks. Wasn't even really focused that much in the jungle till now with the Shyvana ban. And he goes deeper to Kha'Zix. A shake from the coaches, Cop and Bubba Dub here as we get ready to go into game 4. As we follow the teams onto the Rift, make sure to update your votes over on Twitter. Be using hashtag Cloud9win or hashtag GVWin still, and we'll see which way the fans are leaning in just a few minutes as we get on. A new pick for Keen here in the mid lane. He goes over to the Twisted Fate, and we got a GP in the top for Hanser, as it looks like Gravity decides to switch up the comp for one of the first times here.
Cloud9 looking for a game 5.
Keeping that dream alive of Worlds.
An Incarnation on the Victor. I thought he was going to play Victor in his ear every game today, coming into today. And then we started throwing these new picks in the mid lane. I was like, okay, then the Orianna was a good one to fall back on.
Yeah.
So I thought he was going to have that trifecta. And now that I see him back on Victor, this looks very hopeful for Cloud9. But you look at their composition, you have some engage from the AD carry. High, no engage on him. No burden of engage on the jungler. It's all on the rest of the teams. And Jat was talking about how he was the beneficiary before, but look at this.
I feel when you enter the jungle that many times in a row through the same spot at the same time, you're bound to take a bit more damage each time.
Oh, hit move.
Concussive blows. Nobody else can reach it, unfortunately. They are just saying if gravity's going to stay in range, we're going to keep attacking. Finally have to go back. No summoners across the board were used as I take a second look. So pretty good to go out of that. And it looks like everybody's out with the amount of potions they're taking.
Cloud9 did get deep wards this game, though, something that they have not gotten in the last few games. They got one at the Gromp in their last 3 games. Checking for lane swaps that way, but otherwise, these are pretty much the deepest wards they've been able to get.
Yeah.
And they got it on that side that Gravity was pushing in from.
Definitely wanted a few more people that time. It was usually just kind of the sneaky hover. I'll throw a ward down here. A few pings actually letting them know the majority of the members are on the bottom side, saying we have no vision of anyone top. They must be bottom.
This is actually an adaptation in their level 1s, because when you think about the way this series has been going, Gravity is always invading at that one spot. And Cloud9's always invading here. And there's 4 people here now.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, Cloud9 was Gravity was always invading through the top side river. And what Cloud9 did is they had everybody wait there. Sneaky wasn't waiting for that bot lane ward, wasn't waiting for that Gromp ward. This was an adaptation for Cloud9 saying they will invade here again because they keep doing it.
Not much that Lemon Nation could do there. They knew High was not with him. They had a ward on that red camp, so Gravity getting a quick one in to know that High starts top side. He'll be headed down bottom as well. And we're getting the teleports back from the top lane just now.
Like that.
Shouldn't get too much of a lead here. You can see that Haunter actually took more in the jungle.
Give him the small ones. Gangplank does make use of mana potions as well, so having that extra gold, you don't just cap out on red potions and not know what to do. So it's not terrible. Also, I like that the double jungle for High made it so that you have Balls tanking it. Balls gets level 2 early, and then he just heals up, continues to tank it. So High gets to keep both his potions as he goes through the jungle. And as a Kha'Zix, you definitely want both of those potions available to you.
Yes. Actually being very careful about his red here as he goes in and out to save as much HP. Actually curled around to make sure that nobody was even going to come and try and mess with him. Playing this one very, very safe.
It also puts him in a position as Kha'Zix to have a full HP gank at level 3. If you just clear the jungle by yourself, you're using both your potions, and you're not accomplishing that. He's looking for Keen, though.
See Incarnation dodging out on that last CS, and I think Keen saw it as well. There was definitely a change in play from Incarnation going aggressive there. He quickly goes out towards the top side. That'll be his first back anyways. They're pretty even in CS.
No Ghost, but
gives Move a chance to know where High is, though.
That's true. He gets the counter jungle on the other side. He was counter jungle all game by the Shyvana.
Yeah.
Now he gets to place his ward. He gets to take the scuttle and get vision control. But this is different. He's playing to the top lane this side. This time. Whereas before he was playing to the bot lane, trying to get control there.
Yeah, all tech was pretty much his priority.
Yeah. Now if he actually gets Haunter priority in the top lane, you have both your globals freed up. Gangplank can now have options and can end up going bottom lane and helping out Altec over and over again. Just like how Keen is most likely going to be heading to the bottom lane too.
See how Haunter's trying to play it, setting up a few barrels in the brush to make sure he can get a nice attack on if he needs to play something tricky.
Yeah. Just throw one onto Balls and then hit the one in bush. And we will detonate them both instantaneously.
Keen with the roam. Is this the deep pink ward or just a regular ward? Nope. So that's going to be a regular vision ward purchased in. His trinket is already down from keeping himself safe in mid here. I like that as well. Move coming in, making sure High wasn't already on his trail, trying to get Keen on the exit. And then that would be an easy come down for Incarnation. Very methodical play by Gravity right now.
Haunter's actually playing this very well. Making sure he gets all that extra
CS already, yeah.
Just loading the barrel on low HP targets, but another thing on top of it, if you're able to just bully out this Maokai over time, you get an immense amount of priority. And we saw in this last few games, Haunter always had a CS advantage, except for that last one against Balls and Maokai. So if Haunter's able to have a performance on this carry top laner, where he's able to chunk people out and assist in blowing people up, then he's going to be another damage threat, and this will be a triple threat composition with the Gangplank.
see a big wave going over towards Haunter right now. Definitely a few CS ahead still as they start to clean those waves up. Junglers on both sides. Doesn't look like Hai wants to take this though. Didn't really have a clear entry into that wave of minions, and Move would have been way better off. Also, Bunny Fufu on the 6-minute roam.
2v3.
Do they pull Incarnation down enough? The flash body slam, the flash pulverize, and the first blood to Gravity.
Playing towards the mid lane there, the roam from Bunny Fufu. It was pink warded on the bot side. They had no idea that he had come there.
It's a flash from Keen too. That was a heck of a lot used for 1 kill. Wonder if Cloud9 will be able to work off those 3 flashes being down for the next 5.
Oh, Hai.
Hai goes in, knows that flash is down, but I don't know if he realizes Move is just off in the wings here. Playing back and forth, a little bit of that effect coming in. Keen's flash down from the last engage. Haunter doing what he could from the top lane, wasting the last of his mana bar to help out in the mid lane.
Moves pressure.
Toying with fire though.
I don't know why he jumped in there. It looked like he just wanted to bully Keen out of the lane. Ends up blowing his flash for it though.
That's a good point. At least he didn't shove the wave in for Incarnation to get back, right?
Yeah.
Bit of teammate help.
It's true. That's what junglers like to say. We're helping by shoving the wave back in.
Except I want
Really
this one.
swat the
I want this one and this one and this one.
He is up in CS though. That is the thing going for him right now. Hai has double move CS at this point. It's not that big a deal because Move picked up an assist for himself on the first blood, but
Well, he's going at the rate he was last time. He knows he has to start stepping up in these games. The Shyvana was one of the ways he did it. Not sure why they didn't kind of resort to that immediately. It was such a strong game they had over Team Solo Mid with a very light composition in that Shyvana in the jungle.
so sorry, this is just taking the best price. We see Incarnation, his first buy after backing is actually spending over 1,000 gold on Ether Wisp and Boots of Speed instead of upgrading to get his Death Ray to have that extra damage on it for wave clear. So right now he's just focused on movement speed.
Making sure he can get away from all this crowd control, keep himself safe. Always
Point
a lot
click.
of reasons you can do that.
Boots aren't going to help you against that point click.
They get you. You're pretty much dodging an arrow at this point. Gold card doesn't fizzle out from distance.
Well, they know where Move is.
And he's being a nuisance still, continuously inside the jungle from game to game. A little
Still
more
can
so
go for this
this
game,
time
too.
than last.
Oh.
Right against the wall, Incarnation gets pinned. And they now
Bunny
try
Fufu.
to see what's going on around them. It's just going to be Hai. And Lemon Nation was coming up from the bottom. Like you said, Bunny Fufu, though, very close. And probably would have made that Gravity's advantage. Before Lemon got there.
The support roam from Bunny Fufu has been on point this game. Keeps coming up at the right times, abandoning Altec, but Altec is no worse for wear on it.
Even the little things, when Bunny Fufu was playing against Sneaky's Trisk, hitting the pulverizes in the rocket jumps as they were going off. All the small things he's doing is really making things easy for Altec and the rest of the team to focus on what they need to in lanes. Hai over to his red to clean that up. He is absolutely in full vision right now of Gravity, so they know what's going on down there.
Ooh, we got the barrel, so we can get the damage off of it.
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah, Ball's starting to win that.
You either get the barrel or twisted advance at the same time, right? Definitely a little bit of outplay there with Maokai.
You gotta walk up to it at the right time, especially as a melee matchup. Gangplank's melee matchups are always very favored in his favor. Save for things like Aurelia sometimes. Yeah, it's always risky to walk up and hit that barrel. If you're Gnar, you have a really good time. You just hit the barrel, you go, oh, he's
Auto.
putting down free gold for me.
You're good to go. He's down up to a Sheen, I should say. Balls is actually doing a pretty nice job at keeping that CS even. Now that the lanes are matching up, there isn't a huge wave going at Haunter, so Balls has done a nice job at evening that out. Wild cards just on the edge. Incarnation thought he had a better hand, but it doesn't work out this time. 10 minutes on the clock, a small gold lead starts to go over to Gravity, and every time that's happened first, they've been able to hold that lead. It's like Move's actually trying to put a stamp on this here, 10-minute dragon.
Hai off on the side though.
There's a jungle sense. He's tingling, he knows.
He doesn't have anything to check it though. He does see them with the ward in the river.
There's
He's
the
been
hawk
pointed
shot.
out.
That pretty much went over him.
Gotta watch out for the Ash Arrow.
Move
though.
is very, very low. Incarnation's not in a good spot to take the fight, though, if Hai wanted to jump in. And they're going to have to just pretty much walk that one off. Still get a good result out of it. They push off Gravity. No, they've thwarted something for now. Lemon Nation takes his time. Get a few early wards.
Oh. Gotta get out of there.
Cheeky plays. Cheeky plays.
Oh, Honey Foo walks by and the frog is still angry. Everybody gets some of the frog.
That was funny. I'll save you. Wait, I don't want this. All right, looks like it's going to be good pressure towards the top. Haunter's ultimate is back up if anything happens around the map. Doesn't look like Move is positioning for that right now. Balls is actually starting to take a lead in this lane.
Yeah, we've seen Haunter apply too much pressure in this gameplay. He's been trying to push it up, but at the same time, Balls' Maokai just seems very strong. Not just in team fights, his laning phase on this one-on-one, they're even in CS, but it's approaching 11.5 minutes, and they're both almost at 100. With good CSing from both the top laners here. But what I do want to touch on is Keen. He finished the Abyssal Scepter first to help deal with not getting blown up by Incarnation's Victor, but he hasn't used his ultimate to go bottom. And if you always watch bottom lane, Bunny Fufu keeps going mid, but that lets Sneaky push up. Sneaky is right. Look at where Sneaky is in this lane. He plays so far forward here.
And with a twist, you think with a Twisted Fate, that would not be plausible. They're making it work though. It doesn't look like it will for too much longer. They may start to push the pressure on the bottom side. It's going to be ward clearing first, so it should alert Cloud9 that they are not in a safe position here. And you can already see a few members trailing back to make sure that they do not get routed behind the Dragon Pit. Already back into the bottom lane. Cloud9 definitely pushing things to the limit here, getting what they can.
Yep, they keep wave clearing down bottom. You were talking about the vision, the name of the game right now. So much vision in this Dragon area, but also the wards that they put on the sides of where Keen is in mid lane. From Cloud9, you see those blue wards all up there. They're stopping them from him roaming and getting
just
too,
a few on the left shoulder there.
Getting too sneaky. Those weren't there a couple minutes ago, so he missed an opportunity, but now they don't have as many ways to clear them.
This bottom lane has led some crazy battles over the past few weeks, Cyrene. See Bunny Fufu and Lemon Nation could be fighting for the next year if we watch that one, but it looks like they've backed off already. No blue going to be taken just yet.
He's
Incarnation goes
lane.
for the play. Absolutely ganking his own lane. That's going to be the cleanse immediately from Incarnation, the Ghost and Flash for Keen to try and solidify that kill. It looks like Cloud9's able to reposition here, so nothing too bad happens.
No kill going over, and Haunter still, not being able to face Balls. Balls rushing the Frozen Heart, has the extra armor, and he's just right at the edge of a lot of these barrels. The poke coming through, the siege is on, high off on the side, and they're trying to just force down this turret.
He knows that distance in the top lane. You're calling his positioning, and it's been very good versus Haunter. Also, looking at that, GP is not the ultimate synergizer with the rest of the team. He does good things in fights, but you kind of want your GP to have a great lane by himself so he can be that guy that tears through everyone later. You're expecting that damage. Here, being still helpful from the top lane and not doing too bad, as you were saying, we can still see Haunter kind of explode if they get a good fight.
Oh, from the backside.
Oh boy. Oh, even more damage. Is it going to be the kill? Hail of arrows. Sneaky flashes in, and High gets out by the skin of his teeth there. I think he even knew he was in a bit of a trouble before he turned down that ultimate to get out.
That was so aggressive. Leaping, I'm in your turret, and then able to get the kill anyway. Sneaky with the great follow-up. If that piercing arrow or hail of arrows hadn't hit, would not have gotten that kill.
It's that 1 minute or 1 second where you're like, I hope there's a lapse of vision and he's not looking at this turret. Had High eaten that arrow inside turret range.
Oh yeah.
Bad news bears. Even worse news for Incarnation here.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
The gravity field. For a second I'm thinking, why are you giving him the kill? Somebody take it. But the Incarnation plays with the gravity field are going to get himself out alive. There is no rotation from Altec. He's in base. Incarnation is out. Just when you think it's going to go real bad, it goes real good for you.
Calculated. They lose the mid turret though. Just barely. Show up. Elimination not able to hold that off. So it's 2 turrets to 1 overall. The ball still has priority in this top lane. He might actually get Haunter's TP for this.
Haunter's got the clear damage now to get those waves out, so he's not getting pushed in that much anymore. Looking at money on Incarnation as he did back. He's actually 1,000 gold down exactly under Keen right now. Hopefully he can get his items finished up right quick so the team can start to use some power spikes here. We're 15 minutes in, a few more kills than last time at this point, but not as explosive. Last game had a lot of engages, disengages before we saw the kills come in. Here it's a very guerrilla warfare, in and out, and then to the objective.
Oh, Incarnation.
This one's just going to be in. Lemon Nation, stand behind me, and it looks like he actually might have put himself too far in the fire. He does save Incarnation. Valiant attempt by the support.
Hey, Gravity, Jab was talking about it on the desk. They like pick composition. If they ran things like Urgot all the time, they're basically treating this like a pick composition. You throw the Ash Arrow in, barrel the person into your team. Good to go. Didn't have to use the barrel there, though.
And it's something they have to keep timer of now. It happened to Sneaky previously in the bot lane, which actually cost them game number 1.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's something they're still taking arrows to the face just from inches away. They have to be respecting all tech's arrows here. Looks like they're going to start setting up a little bit around Dragon. Something they don't have to worry about is that arrow this time. So we may see a little bit of love here from Cloud9 on this objective.
I was looking at the gold lead for a second there. I was thrown off. I'm like, how are they 1,300 gold up off of 1 kill? The reason that Gravity has this gold lead is because Gangplank passive and Twisted Fate passive. Despite being even in CS,
that's a really good
these
point.
Two lanes, the solo laners, still have a lot of gold generation just because of the champion that they are. So when you look over at Gangplank, he's sitting at a 300 gold advantage, and then you look over at what Keen has, and he has a 1,400 gold advantage just created from his passive. And the fact he has 2 kills. But the passive, I'm actually going to look at the passive really quickly and see how much. Oh no, the tooltip does not tell you. Sad mode. I'm sad.
Owned by Observer.
Sad mode.
So coming up on 18 minutes, who is going to make the first step to open up this game? We do have that mid turret down on the side of Cloud9. They're kind of staving that one off by putting more pressure there. High is just behind the team now. If there was an engage, able to whittle down Gravity just a little bit. High going for that brutalizer next, looking for more damage.
You have to watch out here, though. Oh, there's the arrow on the High.
Arrow. High has no mana. Why not fight on this one? Bunny Fufu's going to get hit up. They're not able to instantly fight in Hanser's ultimate, but they are able to assess what's coming at them. And right now, that's a gigantic tree that's not doing too much damage. Balls is forced to flash out. The laser actually coming through and hitting up move. Takes him down. Gravity now in a bad spot as they get turned on by Cloud9 in that fight very nicely. Gravity thought they had the upper hand.
Just barely. Cards flying everywhere, don't hit, and a lot of these abilities just walked around by Cloud9. Really nice pickups there, 2 for 0, and they get themselves back to a slight gold lead, about 600 here, and they get priority on Dragon. They're able to take this down.
I am incredibly surprised more people on Cloud9 did not die that time.
Ash and Twisted Fate still have ways into this fight.
The eye, enough to push them off. Actually, he's down to the bottom lane. He is going to take it. Wild cards go out. Nice AoE damage, living for Bunny Fufu. A sliver of health there. He cannot afford to go back in. How much do they want to pressure this, though? I don't know if they're going to stay. Keen was going to throw more cards. It looks like they go back to pushing waves since they know they can't solidify a quick kill. But they do stop Dragon. Big payoff there for the ultimate.
This was just all over the place fight. High wasn't able to get engaged on. They had to put the pink ward down, and it gave him enough time to flash away because he got hit by the ultimate as he went invisible. And then Ball's TP was right on time, right onto the right side. Right here, the barrels doesn't hit anybody, and the cards doesn't hit either. Moved way too far forward as Incarnation's walking up.
You know what? That's exactly how they didn't die to all of that. Lemon Nation had his shield up for the majority of the fight. Blocking cards, blocking volleys, and really coming up big for the team. So, huge place to him being in the right spot to allow everybody not to have to dance out of position. Cloud9 starts to get a little bit more fight strength in these games. Not losing anybody that time, but it also didn't give them too much time to push outside turrets or get waves cleared. So, back to it.
Yeah, and this Braum pick has definitely been working out for Lemonation. The first 2 games going with Karma. He's the only person playing it now. He's still very confused by the Karma pick. I like the engage. I like the fact that they're having more ways to start fights and have counter engage.
Yeah.
Bunny Fufu is just going to walk away from this one. But the Dragon is live, and that's still what is on everybody's plate. They all want to look at that Dragon, pick it up for themselves. You still have the siege potential in the mid lane. And the poke from Sneaky, once again, Essence Reaver, but this time not to Yomu's Ghostblade.
Yeah, not at all. Right for even more damage. knowing he could have a few more people right up in his face. Just want to be able to take out Monster and guys very, very quickly. Could have Keen on him immediately. See what he decides to continue building that into. Infinity Edge or Last Whisper Bloodthirster. 21 minutes on the clock. This one's slowing down a lot after that last fight here. And see what Gravity can keep doing. First time they've changed their composition in this. The first time they actually have to really question what they were doing after that loss. The comp was working, things they were doing were working, even if they were behind a little bit of gold, which was hardly ever in the previous games. Now they really have to be able to have instant takeaways and adapt to them in this game. It's the first time they're down. Not even down by much.
That's true. Gangplank passive giving them about 750 gold, and you can't see Twisted Fate passive, but he's up 1,000 gold total, being up just 1 kill and down 1 assist.
All right, Cloud9 working off the ball, able to get what they want.
Oh, nice.
Like they're
I like
a little
that.
risk averse.
I like
Fly
that.
over.
Fly in. They look fancy. I'm a big fan of Kazakhs. I want to see if he gets a double jump off this game, because he rushed the Tiamat, so he has a lot of damage, and he evolved his claws first and then his wings. So he's looking for that single target damage. He's looking to be able to blow people up.
Ooh, there's the barrel damage that they were looking for. No follow through the choke point. Gangplank throws off his ultimate.
Just realize that Gravity's composition is the double barrel. They have Gragas and Gangplank. You have to be conscientious of where 2 different types of barrels are.
Turn around to see if he has that upgrade.
The Silver Serpents.
What it will be, rather. He's got quite a few of them.
He's at 360, and he has already upgraded Fire at Will, which is the increased rate over the duration, which makes the slow more consistent.
Right.
And increases the damage as well.
Haven't seen it be used too effectively, mostly in defense so far, for Gravity at this point. 223 to 248. He decides to build up towards a BF sword right after that Triforce. Still waiting for that damage to come in. We already saw what happened in Elimination, so Cloud9 kind of rethinking the fights they want to take here, knowing that that kind of front-end damage can come into the fight here. Wards being placed towards the top side. Baron is very much an objective coming into the game here. And Keen starting to get the split push on. They have 2 ways to teleport and multiple ways to fight across the map without people being there. So they can start to spread Cloud9 thin.
And that's always the beauty of having this double global. Because once Keen's is used and he gets balls in retaliation to his, then you just send Hanser to split push against balls for the next 4 minutes. And if you find another opportunity, you get to TP in, and he doesn't. So just a lot of forward thinking there. And so, through everything, Gravity once again have squeezed out another gold lead. It's about 1,000.
Yeah, like keeps teetering back and forth. You can tell how much they want it here. Definitely a different Gravity that we saw coming in. We've already discussed between the way they play compositions and the way that they're taking the fights they're able to get into. Keen as well, kind of flexing himself around, knowing that Urgot pick is going to be bad, so having a very nice Victor to come out and play. They are wanting, remembering the loss to Impulse last season that put them down, only gave them 10 championship points here. Almost. They definitely want this. They felt it before, and they are very close to getting it again. Gravity looking for that one. Cloud9, however, as we said, could be the first time they do not make a trip to Worlds here, weighing on their shoulders. Gravity has a little bit of that relaxation. There could be one more game, but it's not something they want to have to deal with, of course. Back to Baron Aiden.
Oh man, these barrels, a little off, but here's the TP. They're looking for the flank on the Hanser here.
No home guards there coming in from Balls. It's going to be a slow walk for the tree to come in. Hanser, however, could get taken down. Ultimate used on the entirety of Cloud9 as well, so that's a bit of damage they're missing from the fight. Explosive Cast already tells you that they don't want this, and they're just trying to disengage C9 as much as they can and hopefully put enough damage down so that they're deterred from the Baron. Looks like that's what's going to happen. A push mid lane from Keen as well as he puts his foot down to try and dictate what Cloud9 is doing.
Yeah, and when we talk about global types of abilities, well, Twisted Fate, it's kind of a lie. It's a semi-global ability. He was down in bottom, he used it to just get to mid lane, and then all he got to do was shove, got no turret damage down. But the fact that Balls was able to TP all the way up to the top made that play. Now Hanser has teleport priority. He's able to actually run them around the map. And if Hanser continues to split push, You have to be able to answer him. But you also have to be able to answer his TP.
Right.
His teleport goes off. It's a 4-on-5. Your team is not going to win that. Unless you guys mechanically outplay them or positionally outplay them very heavily.
Yeah. You do it right, you go to the teleport and fight, but now it actually could become a problem.
You never want to be in that position, though, to have to outplay another professional team.
Yeah. Gold still very close here. Nobody giving up too many kills throughout these fights. It's 1 or 2, and then they start to back off. Gravity now ready to fight around this Baron pit. Still leaving Keen to make his way around the map, clean up resources, make sure all the lanes are pushed. That's something that Cloud9 is definitely going to have over Gravity here if these fights happen, because Gravity is going to be in a much better position to take down a turret after with the wave clearing that they're doing.
Yeah, I like this from Cloud9. Because you don't have teleport, just keep grouping up and forcing around the Baron.
Yeah.
So then you might be able to force Hanser's TP or force Hanser to come up to you over and over again.
Your waves are pushing already. Why not?
Yep. Keen's
not
going to go
too
back
bad.
down to the bottom lane, though.
Looks like he could equalize this with Sneaky if they meet at the same time. Question mark already went down since they don't see where Sneaky is right now. Keen already knows he's going to be playing with fire down there. You see a bit of the gold distributed across the teams. Altac sitting on a pretty heavy pocket right there. But it doesn't look like anybody's really going to be engaging in too many fights. This next dragon just may go to the wayside without any fight being had. Wards this game as well, dying off a bit more. A lot of protection on the regular pink wards, but not many vision wards getting placed forward. Making things a little bit harder to engage.
Good line of wards from Gravity, though, all across the river, going from Dragon to Baron. So they have everything covered. The Dragon being up in 10 seconds, and with Gravity having their eyes on Baron at the same time.
There's all the wards we were looking for. A few more placed down. Swept there nicely by Incarnation and crew.
It's Dragon time. What is each team going to do here? High looks like he wants to clear the mid lane out with his Ravenous Hydra. Shove. They're not going to come to meet you just yet.
See, this could be very explosive.
Oh, Righteous Glory used.
They're going straight. Oh, Keen actually throws down the Ghost, gets the Scuttle Crab, and is way too fast to get caught by Glacial Fissure. Incarnation very, very low. He is actually going to get a little bit of help from the rest of the team to stay alive for what seems like a few more seconds, but Cloud9 actually getting a hold of this fight. Now Move and Keen are both on the ground, and they're going to be able to push off. Dragon is theirs, and possibly Baron if they don't get too hurt on the way there.
Sneaky MVP of that fight. Sneaky throws out his Chain of Corruption, and he hits Altec and Hanser with it, and they don't get into the fight until way later. So stalling off those damage dealers kept Incarnation alive, kept High alive, and allowed them to isolate targets off on the side.
Doesn't look like it'll be enough time for Baron. Definitely want to get a relook on that replay, because what a fight from Cloud9. I was focused on Incarnation. I thought he was going to get popped immediately, and he somehow lived. So you can tell when that happens for a team, it happened to Gravity this time, you're almost completely thrown off for the fight because you're thinking something else is going to happen completely
he went between
different.
A damage dealer and a dragon, and he chose the dragon and he lived. And right here off to the side, you see the Chain of Corruption in the top left, boom. It's going to come out, hits Hanser,
wow,
stops Altec, and they're both delayed from this fight. 2 for 1 in terms of the delay, because Sneaky doesn't get in there until later, but he stopped a lot of the gold from Gravity of actually getting into that team fight.
Things really falling in favor of Cloud9 on that one. Gravity looking for a way to pick themselves back up. Still have a gold lead with what's been happening around the map, the wave clearing, the gold passives, but it's nothing that's catapulting them into any sure spot of victory. Cloud9 still lingering, ready to take that away and bring it to a game 5. Nope. Half of his HP, 1 barrel. So that can't happen again.
I mean, he can. He doesn't want to.
This is very true. Just your line of thought. Sneaky should be the one kind of doing that with piercing arrows right now, being the guy to get that much poke in. Hanser's barrels, far and few between, however, are doing a lot more damage than that.
Yeah, the Trinity Force and the Infinity Edge multiplier on it. Looks like it's a Last Whisper again, unless he's going with the 2 Infinity build. You don't actually see a lot of professional blades, more of a solo queue build. Sneaky, though. Going with the Youngest Ghost Blades later on. As the delaying his last return for a
Yep,
bit.
still going to get it.
Doesn't need it, though. Nobody really has armor on the side of Gravity. Nobody's going to prioritize armor for a very long time.
That's a good point. Usually you have the Gnar by Haunter in the top lane, another tank to go along with Bunny Fufu, but they switched that up this time, allowing a little bit of a change in build path for everybody on the Rift.
I like this, the 1-3-1, but you have the collapse from both sides. Problem, though, is you have siege potential on Cloud9's side. Victor is the one who's going to have to wave clear, and then, well, who's left in the mid lane? You don't have your Gangplank, you don't have your Twisted Fate, and so it's Ashe, whose wave clear is honestly mediocre.
Right. You got to be standing real to the side.
Yeah, but nobody's
Get
going
a
to answer
weird volley
King,
in.
though.
Already, that's exactly what's happening here. They get a few shots on the turret every time. It's kind of a brute force entry by Gravity saying, yes, we're going to fight, when in reality, they're actually not going to fight on this one.
I really want this.
Keen
Oh, he didn't hit it with
pushing
the barrel!
turret as well. The barrel misses. That's going to be the flash. High should be able to get the
Extendo
spikes out and get the kills
Oh,
here.
the Krugs!
Gets the kill from the Krugs. They're still losing second tier top. That's going to be stopped here. The Twisted advance to a minion. Vengeful Maelstrom is out. Does the team pull back and now try to kill Keen? His ultimate is up. That's the Twisted advance. Arcane Smash.
Get out.
Ultimate goes out, and it looks like he cannot port to safety. Ghost is on, and this is going to be a fight for the ages here as Keen tries to stay alive, pushing the minions to make sure that there's nothing going to be coming out of that section. It gives our Incarnation time to come in, and you're right, Zyrene. They are looking for Baron. Move is down, so it's not even a 50-50 smite war.
Oh, they're going to go for Bunny!
Cloud9 really want this game 5. That's going to be Altec as well. One after the other as Gravity is all sorts around the map. They cannot keep it together.
Oh man, high on this Kha'Zix. 4-0-3. He has so much damage right now, and if you are an isolated target against his upgraded claws, you don't stand a chance. That was a tanky Gragas. You don't see a Gragas get chunked like that.
Nope.
And like I said, nobody has armor on this squad. It is High's field day on this Kha'Zix.
It makes you wonder why other junglers don't kind of explore more. While it's difficult, high risk, high reward, that reward is such a huge payoff. And we've even seen a few falters from High's Kha'Zix this game and the team around it, and it's still coming out very strong.
There were doubts coming into this about High's jungle play.
Yeah, there were.
In terms of what he does around the map, because most junglers, like typical good jungler, what people think of in the meta, is somebody who ganks very frequently early, helps his team, sets them up, gets a sight stone. He's like, no. I'm going to farm, I'm going to take your waves, I'm going to Ravenous Hydra to farm your waves even faster, and I'm going to not get a sight stone. That's somebody else's job. You guys buy wards, that's okay.
And then we can eat people together late game. Or
Exactly.
Late
He becomes a huge threat for the team. This is not a 2-threat composition. It's a 3-threat composition, with High being one of them.
We wondered what would happen, as you said, with this champion pool. And it's funny that he kind of just surpasses the Elise. Both junglers have in this game, not even a ban. Surpass the Elise, surpass other top junglers right now, and just go right for Kha'Zix, go right for Shyvana. He definitely brings his own playstyle out of the jungle, and you can see that type of impact also in his shot calling. The reason why the team brought him back, he's just such a big factor for Cloud9.
I wonder if this is a Zeke's harbinger for elimination, and if it is,
It looks it.
does he end up binding with High?
Does he? the critical clause that they could use, it could be definitely a bad thing that they would have to deal with. 1K gold lead, actually 1.5 now that Cloud9's going to be working with at this point. We'll have to see if it goes awry here. They feel very confident. Low mana onto Sneaky, not going to get too many more pokes out of him, and that may give Gravity a big sense of security here.
Still have High, shoving the top lane. They have engaged though, because High wouldn't be able to make it to this fight. Oh, Haunter's just been having problems with his barrels. He's overreaching with his second barrel, so they aren't chaining together. That's happened about 4 times so far. Here they go. High's not going to be here, but Bunny, he's already down.
Bunny Fufu is just getting everything to the face right now, and that may mean that Gravity can fight the rest of this with all those resources of Cloud9 down. Keen, however, walks out of the base, and nobody else wanted to leave home on that one. Cloud9's going to be jumping in. They look like they might solidify a game 5. Haunter with a fast shot takes one down. He could easily solo this situation to safety, and it looks like now in a 2v1, it's going to be too much. It's going to be Balls and Lemon that dig him a grave, and they ace Gravity, only losing High. Now onto the inhibitor turrets.
And that's going to be an inhibitor for Cloud9. They won't get too much more. We'll have to see about that, though. There's 20 seconds on them. They might actually just end the game here now that I look at it. It's just move. It's just move.
Baron just wore off here. Move's going to come up. Explosive Cast is down. He's not going to be smiting any champions, but he might be able to get a good body slam to deter a bit of the damage. It's not going to be enough. Silver scrapes it up. I believe we're going to a Game 5. Cloud9 keeping the world's hope alive, and they're going to get their own 2 wins over Gravity. Cloud9 and Gravity are going to a Game 5.
Off the back of the aggressive plays there, that was a 4v5 at the start. And then they show up at the end. Cloud9 adjusting in this best of 5 to take it to the 5th game.
And they're adjusting not back to things that people would normally pick. They're adjusting to the things that they want to play and they want to come in. And almost seeing this now, the picks from Lemonation in the end and the picks high coming in lately with that switch from Charlie and Bubba Dub now being coach and Lemonation having a bit more say. I think they even realized that we should switch off the Karma. We know we tried it, we went for it. Let's go back to Comfort, and High can start to branch out with his pick.
That's Comfort. When he's playing carry junglers, they actually look rather good while he's playing them. It's very exploitable,
it makes you
though.
question why other people have them.
It's true, but it's very exploitable in terms of professional play.
Exactly.
Because you don't always get as much gold funneled into you. You're starving another member of your team. But when the Cloud9 are playing it this way, it actually works out fairly well against Gravity.
Let's just go over here to the damage chart real quick. What amazing from the bot to the top as well. Ball's playing much more better these games, just knowing he has to be consistent and not have to try and carry on something or be in the right spot as a Lulu to ult somebody. He's just in, get that CC down, vengeful Maelstrom the fight. And you saw how much trouble he was giving Keen as he was trying to do the split pushes. Balls was always there. It was a big factor in stopping Gravity from getting full map pressure.
Balls Maokai in both games has actually been really good. First one, he got a large advantage. Second game, he was able to actually bully Haunter out of the lane. And Keen. Keen didn't have an opportunity to actually use his Destiny Gate to get out of there. He just kept locking him up, and it was actually very well played from Cloud9 across the board that game. There are some things they need to clean up still, but we'll hear about that.
Is this where it becomes harder now? You won 2, and now you're down 2. You're questioning a lot of things, and Cloud9 must be feeling pretty good. To break down Cloud9's series tying win, let's kick it over to our analyst desk.
Thank you, Riv. We suggested the Shyvana ban. The Shyvana ban comes through, and High responds with Kha'Zix.
And we saw Kha'Zix.
Of all things. Thoughts on that?
It didn't do that much. Like, the rest of Cloud9 played really well, and the presence of Kha'Zix, once he got team at, he farmed, like, super hard. But honestly, he just didn't really do much until level 11 and then reset some late-game team fights. So I guess it worked because they won. As long as he's comfortable, it seems like Cloud9 is able to have success.
All right, we did see...
all I have to say is I love League of Legends.
There it is.
It's true.
Yeah.
Segment's done.
I think a big thing about this, though, is once they stopped relying on a Mumu for engage, they started realizing, okay, our jungler doesn't do anything aside from damage. Let's make the rest of our comp actually work. And the rest of the comp is actually working. That's the common thread here. The rest of C9 are doing super well. And I got to give so much props to Incarnation here. I talked before the last game about coaches sort of making team comp adaptations to like the player tendencies. And it was C9, building a backline, building some engage, preying on Keen a little bit. The big tendency of Incarnation was to play really far up in lane over and over and over and over again. And Gravity, I thought, made a really smart choice to like camp the hell out of mid lane and play a point-and-click stunning mid laner as well with TF. And I don't know how, but Incarnation just like never, ever died this game despite the camp.
Yeah, I don't really know how either. Multiple times we saw summoners used on the side of Gravity for an attempted kill onto Incarnation. He gets away without using any of his own.
The first gank worked really easy when they chained him together. But aside from that, he escaped frequently. And to a larger point, Gravity played a split-pushing pick composition, and I don't think we saw a Twisted Fate ultimate succeed in a kill the whole game. Yeah, they did double cleanse on the solo laners and a Varus, so if he ever teleports into a team fight, he gets shut down. Like, the Twisted Fate fell very flat, aside from the first kill they were able to get in the mid lane.
They were also a little bit unlucky, I would say, in some of the ganks. Like, they had a free kill on Incarnation, but they couldn't decide who should have the kill, and then he just got away. But obviously, the use of TF was not used correctly. I would have loved to see like more play around the bot lane, like try to pressure the Varus to use his flash or cleanse, and then after that try to use the TF to punish him. But we didn't actually see that. It was all about pressuring the mid lane, and they couldn't actually do anything about it.
I mean, that's the bargain you go for, right? Like, Bunny either stays in lane and they try to force bot lane down, which to cleanse Varus is kind of hard, and with the Braum in front it's hard, so he chose to go mid. And yeah, that was the bargain, right? They gave up bot pressure for mid pressure. Didn't quite work. That's rough. Top lane, I mean, maybe that was going to be available, right? Like, I mean, Gangplank has some slows. He has a lot of damage, but maybe you can't kill off Maokai. But again, like, C9 respected the CC really, really well.
I think the bigger part here is high on jungle Kha'Zix. Evolved his Q first. His one way of escaping Twisted Fate is to go invisible, but that doesn't work against Twisted Fate. He has a little baby jump. They have Gragas and Alistar potentially roaming. Like, High is the dude they should have been killing. They should have been invading his jungle hard. Kha'Zix does not jungle near full health pretty much at all. And these weird picks that High is pulling out are really not getting punished very hard by Gravity at all.
Well, that's the thing is Gravity aren't going for these orchestrated dives anymore, right? Like, they've realized, like, when they go for these things and we look back to their playoff series against TSM, them going for dives lost them games because of miscommunication. And if that's not being shored up, they're saying, okay, let's not play a very aggressive early game, which then gives license to High. And now I don't know if you start playing very different team comps. Like, Urgot's gone, so you can't play that anymore, but like, maybe the AP COG comes back and you play these really late game wave clear teams where the vision control that Move is still providing allows you to scale up. And if Gravity goes for big scaling teams, then maybe that one works now. And when he was getting big carry Victor, Keen was doing well. So like you play around these big late game carries, maybe that style is going to work because you know C9's not pressuring you that hard early game because High's farming.
What I would love to see from Gravity was try to maybe prioritize the Maokai, maybe try to take it away from C9. Because I think the Maokai is allowing Cloud9 to like decide when they want to fight and force it. And then it also allows High to have a lot more diversity in the jungle, like picking the Kha'Zix, picking the Shyvana. So I think that's what Gravity maybe should look for. But it's a hard task at this point.
Yeah, having multiple engagement tools for Cloud9 definitely paying dividends. You know, you mentioned the fact that Gravity wasn't finding the right fights, or essentially, you know, talking about Move's vision control, though, people are getting picked off, getting that isolated Q damage from High, which is what made his full damage build so effective. So, you know, from the defensive standpoint, was the warding really there for Gravity?
I mean, it felt like it was. I mean, generally speaking, like, when we look at throughout just the series in general, right? Like, High didn't even get a Sightstone this game. Like, arguably C9's vision control should have been even worse this game than ever before, at least in the first two games. And we were already seeing big pockets of Fog of War that Gravity's playing around very well. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd have to look back through all the fights and see, you know, were people in the Fog of War when they're coming in, or these, like, you know, really just small gambles that didn't pay off. And yeah, okay, C9 eventually, when they wrested control of the game, because they were getting like really good pushes down, they're getting these random picks, then they can start pushing in the minion waves and falling back to Baron. High went for upgraded Sweeper to try to build pockets of fog. I know a couple of you guys were saying like, oh, he could have gone upgraded Warding Totem and helped make sure C9 had wards, but I mean, High's choice was to create fog and try to play around those pockets. And I mean, High's still a very good player. He's still a very smart player. He managed to create those pockets, so good for him.
And to be fair, playing Kha'Zix against an Alistar and Ashe,
Gragas,
and TF is very, very risky. Like one CC and you're probably going to get blown up. So, I mean, props to him for pulling it out. It's very, very difficult.
What was a champion that he knew in the mid lane quite well? I do want to jump into our replay. It's the final fight underneath the mid inhib turret. Up on your screen now. Freak, you were talking about Incarnation playing very well from the back line. He has a huge factor in dealing with the dive here from Gravity.
And so the interesting thing is now Gravity for the first time aren't running 3 tanks, so it's just Alistar and Gragas who can threaten the back line. And Gragas isn't the most durable man ever, and so if you roll the clip out, watch how C9 handles their own back line here. It's sneaky and Koke. So Bunny goes in, he gets a little bit, but he doesn't hit either the AD carries, Ashe Arrow either. So now Move is alone with Keen. And to be fair, they get some damage in Incarnation, but not enough. Those two aren't going to win the 2v2 against 2 higher damage champions. They break right to the front line, and now it's cleanup. I mean, High gets to look really cool with all his resets and whatnot, but that was the really core members already being dropped out. That's hilarious. Q auto attack pretty much one-shots the guy.
Well, that's the full damage Kha'Zix there.
One good point about this fight is that it's Gravity trying to engage onto C9, but in this case, both C9 carries Sneaky and Incarnation has their Flash up and their Cleanse up. So it should be nearly impossible to actually get to their backline if C9 actually plays it correctly. So it's just a kind of like lose-lose situation for Gravity at this point.
Yeah. And the thing is, this team comp had so much wave clear. You've got Twisted Fate and Gangplank. And the thing is, also your team comp needs to pick one thing to do in team fights. You either all group up and hit the front line, which is funny, if they had Orianna, and like Gangplank's good at killing frontline. Ashe can really only go over frontline because she doesn't have luxury of target selection. Like, you can just blow up the tanks. That's okay to play that way. TF's not great at that, though. TF can reach the back line with very little help because who else penetrates there? So there was a bit of a disconnect there. I think realistically, if they just went and killed off the Braum first, then killed off the Kha'Zix afterwards, then killed off the Maokai, that could have been fine, but they didn't play it that way.
Yeah, well, we have a tied-up series, gentlemen.
Yeah, we do.
We'll be right back with the series-deciding match between Cloud9 and Gravity. Stay with us because we've got Silver Scrapes coming your way right now.
Okay, so call for help every time you get pressured. Call for what you need, okay? Everyone make sure to just keep communicating, call for what you need, talk to the team.
Balls is forced to flash out. The laser actually coming through and hitting up move. Takes him down. Gravity now in a bad spot.
I'm gonna go on TF. TF. Hold TF. TF over here. TF over here. Careful. Ash. Can you go, Pulse? I'm out of the fight. Back.
Cloud9 really want this game 5. That's going to be Altec as well, one after the other. Keen, however, walks out of the base, and nobody else wanted to leave home on that one. Cloud9's going to be jumping in. Cloud9 and Gravity are going to a game 5.